All right, customer service, medical testing, manufacturing. So many things these days are outsourced around the world to India.
Would you believe we can add this to the list? Surrogacy. A growing number of American women are finding women in India to carry their babies.
Well, let's get more right now. Dr. Raj has that story.
My doctor basically told me you have to adopt or choose surrogacy.
After 3 miscarriages and learning she would never be able to carry a baby to term, 36-year-old Adrienne Arieff turned to surrogacy. Her search for a surrogate would lead her far away and around the world to India.
The contracts are much more straightforward. For lack of a better term, it's more of a one-stop shop, which sounds kind of bad, but there's just less red tape. And I'd already gone through so much, so something as cliche as just having a little bit more certainty after such an emotional roller coaster was sounding rather appealing.
So Adrienne traveled to Anand, India, to the Ankasha Infertility Clinic. There she met her surrogate, a 26-year-old Indian woman named Veena, a happily married mother of 3 from an impoverished village. The two connected immediately.
She did say to me, I want you to have what I have, a family.
After a course of in vitro fertilization in India, Adrienne and her husband's embryos were transferred to Veena. Weeks later, back in the States, Adrienne learned the pregnancy was a success. Veena, on the other side of the globe, was carrying Adrienne's babies, fraternal twins.
And I just was a bit of the crazy person in Dino Zook. I think I screamed or something.
So excited about the pregnancy, Adrienne returned to India to bond with her surrogate for the last trimester.
Every day I would go and see her, and we'd spend a couple hours together.
And when Veena was in delivery, Adrienne was able to be by her side.
When I saw my babies, the first reaction was, oh my God, they're so cute. I don't know, I was definitely in love. They were so different. And so their names, one is named Emma and one is named India, and it was quite easy to put those names to their faces, and it just fits.
Emma and India are now 3 years old. Adrienne says the experience created a lifelong bond with her Indian surrogate. She shares the experience in her book, The Sacred Thread, which began as a journal for her daughters.
Just so my girls would have some sort of documentation of how hard it was to have them and how happy we were that they are on this planet now.
Health officials say surrogacy in India has become big business with an estimated 1,500 surrogacy births in 2010, up 50% in 2 years. Part of the demand is financial. In the U.S., the cost of surrogacy is around $100,000. In India, it's about half, and that includes all medical expenses. Adrienne's surrogacy was handled entirely in India, but some U.S. couples choose to begin the process here at clinics like Indian Egg Donors in New York City. Dr. Anita Nagpal is the director. Her clinic facilitates surrogacy between the U.S. and India, from choosing Indian egg donors to arranging exit visas for the babies once they are born.
Everything is taken care of by the team in India. So they are literally, we babysit them literally through the whole process.
This is an absolutely state-of-the-art operating theater.
Over in India, Dr. Shivani Sachdev Gore is the founder and director of Sai Healthcare and ISIS Hospital in New Delhi. Their center gets referrals from U.S.-based clinics like Indian Egg Donors. Dr. Sachdev Gore says they manage between 20 to 25 surrogacy cases each month. 95% are from international clients.
The lab has access only from the operating theater.
Here, Dr. Sachdev gives a tour of the state-of-the-art center staffed with nurses, technicians, and embryologists. The center is equipped to facilitate the entire in vitro fertilization process. Once a surrogate is carrying a baby, she's closely monitored throughout the pregnancy, often living at the center with her family.
They have a caretaker who will look after them and a caretaker to look after the children, because obviously the surrogate mother has young children.
But there are potential pitfalls to surrogacy in India. Dr. Jamie Griffo is the program director of the NYU Fertility Center.
The financial aspect of it is important, and if it can be done less costly, which some of these countries do, I think that's an advantage for patients. The problem is, you get what you pay for sometimes. I mean, the lower cost sometimes reflects qualitative issues and regulatory issues that may not be in the best interest of the couple and the baby that results.
And while the Indian surrogates are well compensated for the job, some argue that surrogacy in India is exploitative. Others say it is bringing much-needed income to the surrogate's family.
It becomes the story about gendered empowerment, that you're helping these poor women out in a way that they really couldn't almost.
Susan Markins is an assistant professor of sociology at Lehman College and has written books on surrogacy. She's been watching the growing debate over Indian surrogacy.
The debate really mirrors the debate about globalization in general. When we're using cheap labor, are we exploiting them, or are these workers getting better conditions and better pay than they would otherwise?
Surrogacy is not for everyone. It worked for my husband and I. It was something that worked for us. I wouldn't say it's pleasant and rosy. We had infertility problems, and this was our option that ended up working out.
I'm Dr. Roshni Raj for Fox 5 News.